Secrets you didn't know about the House of the Dragon. Hey guys, today we're going to list the secrets you didn't know about the House of the Dragon. Let's get right into it. Number 1. The Queen Who Never Was, Almost Was. House of the Dragon opens with a pivotal scene in which an ailing King Jaehaerys convenes a great council to decide who will succeed to the Iron Throne. During his reign, his own heir and a spare died, and he hopes that diplomacy will prevent civil war. As narrator, Princess Rhaenyra explains that the king summoned 1,000 lords to Harrenhal to debate the claims of 14 potential successors, only 2 of whom were seriously considered. They were Rhaenys, the king's only son, Aemon, and Viserys, the king's second-born, Balon, who survived Aemon but not his father. Despite the fact that primogeniture favored Rhaenys, the council chose Viserys. Misogyny, according to Rhaenyra, is to blame. Rhaenys is later hailed as the Queen Who Never Was. This was her nickname in Martin's writing, and there was a great council of 101, but Rhaenys never got close to wearing the crown. In the book, it was her father's death in 92, not Balon's death in 101, that nearly led to her ascension. Aemon ruled over Dragonstone as prince. When he died in battle, the family, who dubbed her our queen-to-be, assumed Jaehaerys would appoint her princess of Dragonstone and prepare her to rule, but Jaehaerys chose his second son instead. The council was called as a result of Balon's death. The lords choose between Rhaenys and Corlys Velaryon's son, Laenor, and Viserys in the source material. Viserys is preferred because he is 24 years old, whereas Laenor is only 7. The change was most likely made to simplify the plot and highlight the difficulty with which women rose to power. Number 2. The Dragon Pit is intact. Part of the allure of House of the Dragon is the opportunity to visit King's Landing during a period of relative peace and prosperity. The Red Keep is brand new, and the Dragon Pit is in full swing, with 10 adult specimens housed within its vast walls. This is the same dragon pit that we see in Game of Thrones, in shambles as Daenerys, Jon, and Tyrion reveal their captured White in an attempt to persuade Cersei to join their fight against the White Walkers. The Dragon Pit runes also serve as a metaphor for the series finale, in which a newly formed council nominates their next ruler, putting the final nail in the coffin of the dragon-riding family's dominance. The fact that they're in ruins in Game of Thrones implies that the Dragon Pit fell into disrepair, while the Targaryens were still on the throne. Depending on how closely House of Dragon adheres to the books and how many seasons it runs, we may see its demise played out in live action. Even at the height of Targaryen power, its existence was controversial. The Sept of Remembrance once occupied its prime hilltop location. When a religious order revolted against the crown, King Maegor I destroyed the Sept with the fire of his dragon, Balerion. In its place, he began work on the Dragon Pit, a project that would take 2 kings' reigns, 10 years, and vast fortunes to complete. Furthermore, some speculate that the royal family's dragons were stunted in their growth, leading to their near extinction. Number 3. A war is teased through trade route politics. Before all the glory jousting and even gorier childbirthing, House of the Dragon gives viewers a lay of the political landscape with what appears to be a tedious small council meeting, the type that could have been an email if the series was set in the modern-day real world. Otto Hightower, the King's Hand, criticizes Prince Daemon for overspending on his gold cloaks and failing to show up for work. Viserys is only interested in planning his upcoming tournament, during which he hopes to announce the birth of his son. And Corlys Velaryon talks about trade routes, which makes everyone else roll their eyes. Viewers may have caught a whiff of the Trade Federation plotline from the Star Wars prequels. Corlys' concern, which appears to be a throwaway line in Episode 1, will turn into a bloody affair in which power is seized and allegiances formed. Corlys is the richest man in Westeros, even wealthier than the Lannisters at the time, and he got there by adventuring in his ships and returning with valuable goods. He has a vested interest in those waterways, and at council, he mentions the Triarchy, which refers to an alliance between the free cities of Lys, Myr, and Tyrosh. Corlys complains that their admiral, Kragas Drahar, is eradicating the Stepstone Islands and the Narrow Seas pirate problem. That sounds good, but the Triarchy's oppressive tolls and even more oppressive treatment of women will be a bigger problem than pirates, a problem that the show will soon address. Number 4. The Iron Throne gets a makeover. None of the Game of Thrones iconography, each house's sigil, the hand of the king's pin, the White Walker's swirling symbol, was as iconic as the coveted Iron Throne itself. While most kings and queens' seats in history and fantasy literature are grand and luxurious, the seat of power in the Seven Kingdoms was threatening, and occupying it required both figurative and literal bravery. The throne was described by Martin as ugly, asymmetric, and huge. According to legend, it was fashioned from the swords of 1,000 enemies defeated by Aegon I and melted by his dragon, Balerion. The one in Game of Thrones was impressive and intimidating, but it wasn't a monstrosity that sprawled over the throne room like it does in House of the Dragon. Later in the episode, there's another detail that speaks to Martin's world building as well. King Viserys has a gangrenous wound on his back, which he blames on the throne, and when we see him sitting in it, he cuts his hand on the armrest. There is a widespread belief that any ruler who sheds blood on the Iron Throne is cursed. That's all for today, and we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.